place that light is afraid to touch, where the monsters beneath your bed and hiding behind your fear refuse to travel. Do you dare? Is your mind capable of the sights you will see? Is your body prepared for the sounds you will hear? Is your spirit up to the challenge of what you soon may feel? If so, have a seat with the seductress of the dark, Sarah Terror, the Sultan of Sadism, Chunky Larry, and the Clown Prince of Fear, Arlie Grind. This is the Ghoul Kids Table.
Greetings, fellow insomniacs, and welcome to the table. This is another episode, of course, of the Ghoul Kids Table, wherever you listen to podcasts, and, of course, on YouTube. If you're seeing my face, you already knew that. I, of course, am your friend in fright. My name is Chunky Larry, and I am gathered at the table with a group of people that I love a fucking lot. First of all, we're going to talk about the clown that's always down for everything and anything and any which way in between. Grindy the Clown himself, Mr. Arlie Grind. How you doing?
Honk honk, motherfuckers. I am doing pretty okay. It's fucking cold. Like where I live, it's fucking cold. So it's hard to be like the best when it's fucking 11 degrees outside.
You can't be in your best mood on these freezing January days. So
I mean, you go to like get a good cream pie and not the bad one. Get your minds out of the gutter, listeners. And you go like to go nail someone. Like, right in the face,
and it's frozen.
give them a good cream,
murder.
frozen.
Yeah, cream pie, and you're gonna go nail someone. Exactly. Keep going. What?
Go cream pie somebody in the face, and you get hit with assault with the deadly cream pie. Yeah. But no, I'm doing good. How are you?
It's always weird when we start, before we even get going, with hashtag assault with a deadly cream pie. But we are not alone. It's not just the two of us. We also have everybody's favorite part of this show, the smile that makes us go for miles. Tragic Raw, how you doing?
Hi, bud. How's everybody else doing today? I know we got a freezy clown. We got a freezy roar too. Winter is garbage. So any of our
hashtag winter is garbage.
hashtag winter is garbage. Hashtag no frozen cream pies.
Let them thaw. Let them thaw.
And we've all passed the quiz, correct? We're all comfortable with having this conversation. We know how to kill a wolf, man. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this week on the show, we're going to be talking about the 1987 classic, The Monster Squad. And before we get into like the IamDels, I just want to toss it over to our good friend, Living Dead Delilah. She's going to give us the To Be Terrors of the week. And when we come back, Arlie Grind will be reading you the IamDels.
Around here. I'm so happy to see you. As they say, Happy New Year! New Year, new victims. Although I'm so excited to see you, I know that you didn't just drop by for my world-famous Bloody Marys. Of course made with real Marys. You're here for Aunt Living Dead Delilah's to-be horror movie recommendation. And I have a really fun one for you today. Minutes to Midnight. It's about a group of friends to go to this lodge because they're gonna party it up for New Year's Eve. And as the night goes, their There's drinking, debauchery, and some uninvited guests that leave the party full of blood, guts, and gore. All the things I look forward to in a good party. And although these party poopers wouldn't know a good time if it stabbed them in the back, I know my little ghoulies will have a bloody good time watching this one. As always, Aunt Living Dead Delilah thinks you're the ghouliest.
All right. So I'm gonna read this one because I know we're just gonna tear it apart.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah, I know. Here we go. Are we ready? Dracula is alive. In fact, he plans to rule the world, and that is why he seeks the help of other legendary monsters. However, a bunch of kids, regarded by their peers as losers, uncover the devious plan and prepare for a counter-strike. That is a horrible fucking description.
That is the worst damn thing I've ever heard in my
God
entire
damn,
life.
look at
Please tell me they left their name.
Steve Richer. That is SteveRicher. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind me using the pronoun dude, but what the fuck, dude? Like, that is the worst explanation of it. You make it sound like, I don't know, Rambo takes on Dracula or some shit like that.
No, I would be totally down to see that movie too.
I mean, yeah, but that's not
we're gonna
this
watch
movie.
it, but that's not the point. The point is we're talking about Monster Squad, which is not what the fuck you just described.
Hey, fat kid, you got the grenades?
I mean, that fat kid does take out the creature with a shotgun.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
let's call a spade a spade. It's kind of an action movie.
I mean, Wolfman does get a stick of dynamite. Conveniently placed dynamite shoved down his pants.
To blow up his nards, which we confirm that he has.
Confirmed.
Confirmed nards.
Hashtag confirmed nards. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Mission accomplished.
Swing.
Oh.
Swing. All right. So this is one of those movies, and I feel like picking this apart like we would pick apart one of the movies that we normally cover on the show seems kind of weird. Like, is there anything really about this movie that is like on a deeper level? No, this is like candy. This is the kind of movie that you watch when you want to just have a good time. So I'm curious how you guys want to talk about this movie, because I feel like all I want to talk about is like the fun I associate with this movie. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Like this is I've said it before, like on TikToks and stuff, like popcorn movies.
Yeah.
This is a movie that you pop in, you have your popcorn, and you just get to escape reality for 90 minutes and have a great time. And that's, I mean, there's no deeper subtext. There's nothing there other than, for, as an adult watching it, you look back to those days and you're like, yeah, man, that's what it was like to be a kid.
Yeah.
Especially if you were a monster kid. If you were like if you liked the horror genre as a kid. I mean, I wanted to start a monster club, but I grew up in the Midwest, and all these people like to do is touch sheep. So
I just like, you look at it now in the prism of being an adult as opposed to when you originally watched the film when you were a little kid. It's a totally different movie. Like, you see that relationship between the father and the mother, and it's such a ignored kind of thing that I completely didn't take away when I originally watched the fucking movie. So it's got that kind of quality to it, which I think is usually the a sign of a good kids film. You know, because this is ostensibly a kids film, but it also happens to have lots of fucking murder, like crazy amounts of murder for a movie
And
targeted to children.
And one of the best werewolf transformation scenes ever.
Yeah, blowing up the werewolf in very like gory details.
The best part about the blowing up the werewolf thing, I'm sorry if I don't cut in every once in a while, I won't get to talk because you guys talk over me and whatnot. But
I don't have any ice.
But the best part about the werewolf blowing up is that it confirms there's only one way to kill a werewolf, and that's with a silver bullet. Everybody knows. Like, so I always find that to be hilarious. Every single time I watch this movie now is like, yep, there it is. That's just one way.
You kick him in the nards, and he just falls over. You blow him up, he reconnects. So, what else are you gonna do? You can't stab him.
Accident with power tools? We didn't see that.
Go into a Home Depot. He's just tripping and falling into everything. He's a clumsy wolf. just clumsily meanders through the fucking Home Depot. He's getting impaled by random shit. Hashtag clumsy werewolf.
Grabs the table saw and just
loses a claw.
Look what I can do. All right. So I will say, like, to everybody who's watching or listening, like, if you didn't realize it by now, the three of us, this is a movie just steeping with nostalgia, because all of us watched this at a younger age. We all grew up with this. We were all horror kids, and all three of us love this movie to pieces. So if you didn't catch on, and I feel like if kids didn't see this at a young age, they probably wouldn't like it as an adult. This is one that I feel like you have to have that young kid heart in order to truly fall in love with it. And one of my favorite things about this movie is this is one of the last times you ever see the Universal monsters together, like the original Universal monsters together. Because after that, this came out, in 87?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you start seeing like Dracula, you see Dracula again, not until Bram Stoker's Dracula. So that's when you start getting the remakes of things. To me, this has always been just a gem of a movie, because this introduced kids to like the Universal monsters.
And this is directed by Fred Decker, correct?
Yes. Written by Fred Decker.
Directed Night of the Creeps.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a send up to that era of horror as well. I feel like one of the things that they did in the 80s was they had this like fetishized out like look at the 50s and 50s cinema specifically, and it's because those are the now the adults that were the kids when these movies were all the rage. And that's why you look at the sudden resurgence of 80s style fucking horror. It's the same thing. So I just that's the thing that I take away when I watch this and Night of the Creeps, is they both have this energy that feels very reminiscent of a bygone era. They don't feel of the times.
I feel like Mr. Decker basically directed two incredible love stories to 30s, 40s, 50s monster cinema, and did so in a wonderful way, because I love Night of the Creeps. That's my go-to comfort movie. And speaking of Universal monsters, we've never seen the Universal monsters look this way. And talk about some amazing creature designs. Like that was the most, as a kid when I first saw that, I was blown away. Even by the mummy that doesn't do shit but like sit in the fucking closet.
It's a scary looking fucking mummy.
That is the best fucking mummy.
That is so terrifying. Even when he's unraveling.
That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. There's a monster in my closet. Oh no, there's not a monster in the
Look at this scary monster.
That's the beautiful part about this movie. It, like, when you're watching it as a kid, it's equal parts scary and funny and adventurous. And I feel like this is one of those movies that kind of has it all. And I'm not sure what ages you guys were when you saw this, but this also had, like, oh man, the older bad kid that smoked and you know, and then the teenage girl, and you know, like, so this kind of had all the fun elements to a kids movie, kind of similar to Goonies, but Goonies was a little more family friendly than this one. And looking back on this one with 2022 eyes, which you shouldn't do, like, because this one has outdated stuff that used to be okay, now it is not okay.
So much of that outdated stuff.
Yes.
Like, holy shit, there's a lot.
So confession time. I modeled my fashion around Rudy.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it still
That
hasn't
checks
gone
out.
away. I still roll my fucking pants.
That checks out.
I started when I was 8 years old when I saw this movie for the first time. And I'm like, I am never not rolling my jeans.
So do you guys associate with any particular character? Obviously, Rudy is going to be a go-to for a lot of people. But is there any of the other characters in the movie that you kind of lean towards?
Horace.
Horace.
I fucking love Horace. Like, I don't give a shit
He's
what
the
anyone.
best.
He is so good. And he's not just in there for comedy relief, even though he kind of fulfills that aspect of the group.
Because he's fat.
But yeah, I mean, that's essentially.
I mean, that's what it is. I'm a fucking fat kid. Look, I dropped my candy. Oh, I just happen to have a slice of pizza with garlic on it in my pocket in case I fucking get hungry because I'm a fucking fat kid.
And they call him fat kid. They call him,
fucking fat kid.
I love how random people don't have names in this movie, like scary German guy, fat kid.
German guy, fat kid, the other F word they use a lot.
Yeah.
Just flippantly using it. Flippant F words. Hashtag flippant F words.
And we're not talking about fuck.
No, I would say fuck. It's that other pesky F word that I just refuse to say.
Oh,
go figure. Weird. Who'da knew?
Oh. I loved Horace. And he was like, so you had your hero, Sean, and you had your sidekick, but Horace was actually the smart one. Like, he's the rational one. When they first approach, or they consider going to scary German guy.
Yes.
You know, he's like, I don't know, Sean, real monsters. And he's just basically breaking it down like, this is the reality of your situation. And maybe we should think about it. And Sean's like, no, Stephen King rules. We're going in there.
Yes, he does. Yes, he fucking does.
Oh my God.
I will say this about Dracula, though.
One of the best interpretations of Dracula on cinema.
Fantastic. But if you're going to call a kid you've been alive for centuries. You can't come up with a different name other than doing Dracula backwards. I am Mr. Alucard.
It is me, Dr. Acula.
Like, really?
I am a phlebotomist. Call me Dr. Acula. Have you donated recently?
So there's a moment that whenever I watch this movie, I see a little bit of myself in Del, the dad.
Mhm.
When he's talking to Sean about the movie, and he's like, return from the grave, return from the grave. He always returns from the grave. And I was like, oh shit. Because when it comes to certain franchises, I've become Del. I've just been like, he's always coming back. Fucking just kill him already. Leave it alone.
What do they say? He lived long enough to become the Del in the movie.
Yeah. Hashtag IamDel.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I
But,
think if I were to pick a character, I'm going with little Phoebe. I love her so much. And honestly, me as a little kid, I was probably that, hey you guys, come on, let me in. I want to play too. So I'm pretty sure I'd probably go for Phoebe.
Say it. Say the line. Say the line.
Which one?
Mom says if you don't let
Mom,
I
I can't do it.
Mom says if you don't let me in, it's prescription. It's
Hey guys,
discrimination.
don't be chicken shit.
Oh. So yeah, that checks out. All right, Larry. What character?
I can't pick Frankenstein, can I? Because that's the one for me. The monster.
That tracks though. I'll hold your hand, please.
Yeah.
I'll admit when I first met you, I was a little afraid of you. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is actually checking out.
Bogus. Bogus.
Give me a break.
Bogus.
But you notice, what does he do when he says bogus? What is he looking at? There we go.
Whoa, titties!
Okay, Larry, you're right. You're right. Frankenstein's monster.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
It checks out.
Might be good. Anyway.
I didn't mean to take the photo of a naked girl. Oh, what am I doing?
Oh, damn it.
I don't understand this technology.
Bogus.
Bogus.
Hashtag bogus nudes. Oh God.
Hashtag bogus nudes. Oh shit.
So can you imagine taking that to a 1 hour photo lab? and you're not the one picking up the picture, you're the one processing. You're like,
oh, that's child porn.
Pervert.
Oh, ski trip, child porn.
Like, no red flags.
80s was a wild time.
It was a wild time.
80s was a wild time.
And then you give it to like a 15-year-old kid. You're like, here's your pictures.
Here you go.
Yeah, creep.
Here's your
nothing wrong
sexual
with this
assault
here.
envelope. Here's your envelope for sexual assault.
Yeah, so for those of you listening, this was filmed in the 80s. So there are going to be some troubling aspects of this film.
I don't see it as a problem. What's the worst that happened? They used it to blackmail her into fucking warding off evil.
That That was the funny part about watching this again, is that my son was sitting with me watching it, and as soon as he pulled out the picture, I said, "Don't do that." Oh God. Oh.
You see, in 1987, this was called a plot point. In 2022, it's called rape revenge. Yeah, that's fucking different. There's a lot of
There's
different.
a lot of things that are different, Blake, from that time to now, but moving on. I think back to what Ryan was saying earlier, I think the creature designs were some of the best. That I love the Gill Man. I think he's terrifying, actually. The Mummy was terrifying to me as a child, and then watching the whole unraveling bit is just freakishly hilarious, because he's just half a skull under toilet paper, and I was like, this is great. That is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
No bones, no
nothing. Like just
no
dust.
mummified remains,
just dust.
Dust. Old as fuck.
Well, I mean, that's how it works, right?
I think Wolfman is one of the best characters in this movie, because the man part of him is trying to warn and trying to save, and then the wolf part is like, oh no, not my nards. But that's one of my favorites, is the fact that he's the character that goes into the police station, he's yelling he's a werewolf, and in true cinematic form, nobody believes him and all that kind of stuff. And I like watching this movie and noticing the adults in the background now, because to me, that's where some of the fun little extras are. Like the of course the police officers aren't going to believe this is a werewolf. Let's talk about Scary German Guy for a second. One of the most impactful things in the movie, watching it as an adult, is, I guess you do know about monsters. Yeah, I guess I do. He closes the door, and there's his number right on his arm. That's chilling. I don't care who you are. That is one of those, and it's just a split second of, and you will not notice that as a kid, but you absolutely see it as an adult.
I can tell you, as an 8-year-old, when I first saw this, I had no idea what that meant.
Right.
I was like, he's got a tattoo. Okay. And then, once you go up a couple grades, you start learning about real monsters, and you're like, oh, fuck. And it's just glossed over. Like,
it's just a blip.
Yeah, that whole fucking scene, like, I went way over my fucking head when I was 6 watching this in the movies. It's like, what the fuck that means? Set of numbers on it. Was it in jail? Sorta.
Only prisoners and sailors have tattoos.
Yeah.
He don't look much like a sailor.
Yeah, one of the other the adult elements in this movie too, is the parents fighting and getting ready to divorce and leave and all that kind of nifty stuff. And it's just like it's little tiny things. Yes, you see the one part where they're fighting and arguing, but did anybody else notice the bags packed by the door, or like anything, or when Phoebe said to Mom, "Oh, are you going to yell at him?" "No, I love your father." "Oh no, Sean." When they were like, "Oops," so it's those little tidbits throughout the entire movie, I think, make it so much more interesting as an adult.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying, is this movie fucking ages with you, and you start off, you're like, which one of the Monster Squad am I? And you're like, which fucking monster am I?
If we're picking a monster, if I want to, you know what? I'm going with the Mummy. I'm going with the Mummy. I'm just, wrap me up in a bunch of stuff and leave me be. Let me sleep. Thanks.
I feel like Arlie's the Wolfman. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna need a breather there, guys.
I'm gonna still be Frankenstein in this situation, I think.
I was
Well,
gonna go
I
with.
mean-
I was gonna go with Dracula.
Dracula, you know,
I-
puppet master pulling strings.
I'm gonna get you an amulet for your birthday.
All of this is going on the cutting room floor. I assure you. None of this is making a tear. You fucking bullies.
Excuse me. Alitas.
Configuration.
That's the worst.
This is not going away. This is not going away. Shit.
I don't even care if we're the only ones that find it funny.
One of us is getting a nasty Instagram or TikTok message after this.
That's fine. Anyway.
Send them my way. I do really well with this.
Don't send them to me, please.
No, it's at Top Shelf Horror, right? It's so confusing, all these handles.
Oh, God.
Fucking A.
So are we? I just kind of want to get it out of the way.
Okay.
We all recently watched this,
Uh-huh.
and we all cried.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lie.
Twice.
Don't lie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Twice.
All right. Yeah.
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 I
No.
can't not watch it. And not.
BB.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Mm,
Shit.
mm.
I don't
That
know
is a
why.
rough scene.
I don't know why, but I started crying whenever Phoebe first brought Frankenstein's monster over. Her voice, her little voice has that tone that just hits my heart in a certain way. She's like, "It's okay, guys." Oh,
Oh,
okay,
but the-
Phoebe.
But then you have that moment with Sean too, after Drac tries to dynamite the whole
Yeah.
downstairs, and Horace is like, I refuse to call him that kid. I'm gonna call him Horace.
You should call him
I-
Horace.
yeah,
That's
he's
his
Horace.
name.
My name is Horace.
You little fucking baddie.
That's right. You
Badass
tell him,
motherfucker.
fat boy.
But he goes, Sean, what about the monster?
Ask
And he's
that
like-
kid. Sorry.
And Sean goes, don't call him that. And yeah, it's like you have the Phoebe moment, you have that moment in the mansion, and then yeah, that final
Yeah.
give me the amulet, you bitch. And it's like bogus.
Bogus.
Boom. He just sends him fucking flying.
You know what's
Hashtag
wild to
bogus.
me about that? That guy is the killer from fucking Manhunter.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah.
wild,
Right?
dude.
Right? Tom Noonan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so fucking creepy in that movie.
I have seen him in other roles, and his portrayal of Frankenstein's monster is so unique and so just incredible. And I mean, I know he's got all the makeup and everything else on, but
Which the
But-
makeup's really good too. Like,
Oh.
Yeah. It's Stan Winston that did the work
Yeah.
for all of this, right? Yeah. Amazing.
right. Gilman was amazing. Like each and every, and even Dracula.
Dude,
Like-
the bat transformation? Sick, dude.
well, and here's the thing. I would like to officially say out into the universe that we do not have enough man bat transformations when it comes to Dracula's vampire, whatever. Whenever he gets shot and he's in that top floor
Oh.
and he's half Dracula, half bat.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's one of the most impressive things to me. And I feel like that's something we need more of.
He's
Whoever
laying
the
there, he's
hell's
like,
listening
"Don't
to
look
this."
at my bat dick.
great. Now we
Hashtag
got
HalfBatDick.
now we got two of them. We've got
Hashtag
werewolfpeen and batdick.
Bat dick.
Give us enough time, folks.
Uh-uh,
We'll circle
uh-uh.
through all the monsters.
It's hashtag HalfBatDick.
Bat dick.
But That opening
Gilcock.
Well, we know the mummy.
The mummy maker. The mummy maker.
I was gonna say shooting dust, but
Hashtag mummy maker.
oh.
It's a dick move. Dick move.
Holy fucking
Fuck.
A.
All right, so we've done them all except for the one.
Frankenvein.
Vainenstein. Frankenvein.
Frankenvein.
Hashtag Frankenvein.
Did we do the Gilman? We didn't do the Gilman.
No,
Gilcock.
That sounds like someone's last
That
name.
sounds like somebody who's in an English movie.
It's me, Bobby Gilcock.
I am Reginald Gilcock of Worcestershire.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Bobby Gilcock.
I feel like that needs to be a new persona in the Tickum Talk. Oh God.
Oh. All right. Well, butts and cocks, we've got them covered.
if you needed a dick joke, boy, did you come to the right place. Fucking A.
I can't breathe.
Fucking A, dude. All right.
So
let's hit this motherfucker with some ghoulies.
let's do that.
Let's do that. How many ghoulies you coming in with this, Arlie?
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna give a little disclaimer that my ghoulies are based on 99% nostalgia. Just because I watched this kid, I the first time I watched this movie, I had chicken pox, and we had just gotten HBO, and it was showing on HBO, and so it was on like every couple hours, and I had to stay home. I had chicken pox really bad, so I watched it like 10 times in a week, and just fucking fell in love with everything about this movie. And so I'm giving it a 5. I'm giving
Holy
it full-fledged.
shit. I think that's the first 5 we've gotten on the show. Am I wrong?
Oh my God. Did I just give the first 5?
I gave Prey.
Did you give Prey a 5?
Oh, I wasn't on that episode. I was on assignment.
I think I gave that a 4.5. I'm sure somebody else could figure all that out. Do we have an editor?
Do we have an editor for that?
The 5 is on the cutting room floor. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Wow, 5.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5. And here's how I'll justify that 5. The creature effects alone make it phenomenal. The performances, Dracula is amazing. Tom Noonan as Frankenstein's monster is amazing. John, is it Grice? John Grice. He's the Wolfman.
Yeah.
Like fucking phenomenal. And even the kids, like when you watch a kids movie like this, you kind of get annoyed with them. I mean, Goonies was kind of an exception, but even the kids do a great fucking job. Their delivery is spot on. You got little Phoebe, who's like 5 years old, but she's got some great one-liners. And I know it hasn't aged all that well in certain aspects, but I can pass on a couple forbidden Fs to give this one a 5.
Rawr. What about you?
Samesies. Mine is also just nostalgia. So this one was always a childhood favorite. This is one that I will credit to me wanting to love movie monsters. And to Arlie's point, the delivery is fantastic. The actors are fantastic. The story is, even though it has some problems here and there, one of my favorite things upon preparing for today was I actually went ahead and looked at some other reviews that other people have done in recent years. And they were like, oh, well, they don't explain this, they don't explain that. We didn't need all of that. We didn't need an explanation for every single move someone made or every single artifact, or like, we just accepted it. And this movie to me just feels, people talk about, oh, a simpler time and all that kind of stuff. Very rarely will you ever hear me say that. But this one makes me feel like a little kid again, especially little Phoebe. I love that little kid so much. So with that, all that being said, I'm also giving it a 5 out of 5. This is a perfect movie, not just a kids movie. This is a going into teen movie. This is not the little kid stuff like Hotel Transylvania. This isn't the all the way into Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is that perfect in-betweener, I think, that could really get a ton of kids into horror.
So I do have to ask Sarah, you did not need it explained that Dracula put up the monster signal up into the clouds to assemble his gang of monsters? You didn't want like 30 minutes of exposition?
I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I didn't need, I don't need guys, I will accept just about anything you put in front of me, and I'll just be like, you know what? Okay.
You know, I've seen that point brought up on reviews before. Well, how did Dracula get all the monsters together? I don't fucking care.
Why were
I'm
they
happy they're there.
Right.
Like, you gave them all to me. Thank you.
Why are they flying Frankenstein's monster in a World War II plane? This doesn't make sense. Like,
did you notice that the plane said Browning on it?
Mm-hmm.
For Rico Browning? I thought that was a really cool touch. I noticed that when I was watching it today, and I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. I've never fucking picked up on that one. That was a fucking dope thing. For me, this movie has things. So when I originally saw this, I was 6 or 7 years old, and this was in the age of home video where you could rent something and you could just fucking tear it apart and watch it over and over again. And you could have that movie that was like your movie to go rent when you guys would go rent movies. And that's what this was for me. And it was movies like this, Garbage Pail Kids, Solar Babies, like random ass fucking movies. This odd collection of movies. And a lot of those movies, when I went back to them, like Garbage Pail Kids is a perfect example, I hated it. I was like, how the fuck did I enjoy this? Was I that stupid as a kid? And Monster Squad validates itself as a film that you watch it and you see the quality of it in the storytelling. You talk about the scene where they meet the monster, and she's like, don't be a pussy and all that but there's one shot that they do where they have the kids walking up a hill, and there's the sun that's hitting through them and shit, and that's one of the most fucking wholesome, horrific moments. There's a monster, but it's like Harry and the Hendersons, and and the great stories that you've heard or watched or consumed, where it's there's just something with heart there, and there's so much of that. But then it also has genuine horror in it, genuine elements of horror. It makes these monsters that existed in a previous bygone cinematic era look cool again. And the studios have tried to get these fucking movies back off the ground, and they fail miserably every time because they don't have the fucking heart that this does. This captures the essence of each one of those characters in a really interesting way, with the exception of the mummy, because the mummy's just there. But the rest of the characters, same thing could be said for Gilman. He's just kind of there, but all of the other ones have something to them. And Gilman and the mummy just seem kind of like grunts. But the things that are problems that are uncomfortable or whatever watching it now are done so like in a childish way that it's like you can't see any malice in what they're doing. And you have to be able to separate that shit, because it is, again, a different era or whatever, but at the same time you have to know that shit existed. And if you turn a blind eye to it, then what are you learning from it? And so for me, this is also a 5, and I don't give out 5s just haphazardly and for no fucking reason. This is a movie that aged perfectly, and there are obvious things that are issues. How the fuck did the medallion get into the middle of the fucking suburbs when it took place at the beginning in Romania?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. How the fuck are there fucking armadillos there instead of rats? Doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Wait. I will say armadillos are fucking everywhere. I have driven across this country and I've seen armadillos in almost every fucking state.
Why are there armadillos and she eats a possum? Doesn't fucking matter.
Why is there a swamp? Nobody knows. Like, honestly.
Why did they fucking hide the medallion in a place with the 666 as the address? Nobody gets it.
So is it Shadowbrook?
Yeah,
Shadowbrook Lane.
666 Shadowbrook Lane.
Yeah, that's not ominous at all. So,
You're
that old place, that's 666.
You're waiting for Scooby-Doo and the gang to show up at any time.
No, it's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be a kid's film, and as a kid's film that I would show to my children, this is a fucking terrific fucking movie. This hits all of the marks that it should. It has warmth, it has heart, it has horror, it has action, it has comedy, and the comedy is aged well for the most part. 5 out of 5, hands fucking down.
The Eugene writing a letter, "Dear Army guys," and the army actually shows up.
And they show up. All right, kid, where are the monsters?
They print fucking cards so they can give a card out at the
business
end.
cards are my favorite now, I swear. Because
That montage, that whole montage, though.
That song in that montage.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Till your feet fall off. Rocking till you drop. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
We did it, you guys. We actually
5 out of
got
5.
a fucking review without saying anything really particularly shitty, and we gave something a 5 out of 5 across the fucking board.
Across the board has never happened before. That's we need to have a drink for that.
I don't think it'll ever happen again. But
What are you talking about? I'm sure when you guys watch A Wounded Fawn, you all will come away with this. I can't even say it.
Oh, we gotta get out of here. Lion face. Lion face. Ooh. Okay. Be sure to follow us on all of the different platforms. You can like us on Facebook at Ghoul Kids Table. It's facebook.com/Ghoul Kids Table. Yes. Follow us on Twitter at Ghoul Kids Table. Follow us on Instagram at GKT Podcast. And follow us on the TikToks at Ghoul_Kids_Table. We're available on YouTube. We have a Discord. Those are all the places where you can interact with the Ghoul Kids Table, but you can interact with the podcasters on the show as well. Tragic War, where can they find you?
You can find me on the TikToks at Tragic Rar.
And follow us on Twitter at Ghoul Kids Table. Follow us on Instagram at GKT Podcast. And follow us on the TikToks at Ghoul Kids Table. Yes. Okay.
They can find me on the TikToks at Tragic Rar.
And Arlie?
Oh, you can find me on TikTok at Top Shelf Horror. You can find me on Instagram, Top Shelf Horror. Find me on Twitter, Arlie, ESH. And you can also follow my other account, which is Arlie Grind on TikTok. But just to warn you, I'm gonna say stuff about candy corn and Rob Zombie that you're not gonna like.
And also on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I'm on Facebook. I completely forget that I'm on Facebook. God damn.
This is becoming a gag with us, I believe.
I always forget about it. Yeah, so Top Shelf Horror is on Facebook too, and I'm gonna have a special line of drinks this week. You guys
All right.
just have to stay tuned.
And that is going to do it for us, you guys.
Wait, Larry.
Oh,
Larry,
yeah.
where can we find you?
Oh, CreaturePod, everywhere. Everywhere. Except for TikTok.
Except for TikTok.
Except for TikTok, because dicks are hilarious.
You know, just wait till they get frankenvein.
And if somebody predicted frankenvein in the guess the hashtag, we'll find some kind of gift to send to you, because you're a fucking genius and you need all the gifts. I mean, you're already gifted as it is, but we got you. But that is going to do it for us, you guys. So, for Dracula, for Frankenstein, for the Wolfman, for Gillman, for the Mummy, for Arlie, for Tragic Roar, and for me. Again, my name is Chunky. This has been another episode of the Ghoul Kids table, wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. You are always welcome with us here at the table. Yeah.